It's the final day of the regular season. We have one more spot in the grand finals to fill. Hey everyone, and welcome to today's race. In the first group we have a Golden Arrow, Boulevard Bruiser, Ray from Star Wars, and a Ferrari. Now the question is, do you think Ray should have called herself a Skywalker? Because I honestly think that was a little stupid, but that could be just me. Right now though, Ray is keeping up with the Ferrari and the Boulevard Bruiser, and the Golden Arrow could be a reference to a little bit of a lesser known DC superhero, but I could be wrong. But Ray does finish in second, and the Boulevard Bruiser takes the win. Ferrari in third, Golden Arrow in fourth. Finishing with a 13.6 is the Boulevard Bruiser. Not the greatest time, but not the worst either. And let's see if they can keep Ray from joining the fellow Star Wars racers that we've already had. And right now there is 3. We almost had 4, but last time Luke was defeated by Shazam. So Ray is now out in front here. Is she going to be able to keep that lead? No, because that wide turn is a bit of a speed killer, but she is fighting for that lead. Sticks her nose out in front, spins around. The Ferrari and the Boulevard Bruiser are pushing her along, trying to get the lead from her, and we had a really nasty pileup at the end there. I think Ray still got the win, though. And she did, finishing with a 14.16. Not great, but that first place finish is all that matters right now. And with that, she is actually tied with a Boulevard Bruiser. Now, some of that could be because of which lanes they were in, but they all race in each lane at least once. So we'll have to see what happens here as they go into race number 3. Ray has the tightest turn, the Boulevard Bruiser has the widest, and because of that, Ray does have a decent-sized lead, but that Ferrari is trying to push them around. Lost a bit of momentum trying to do so, and Ray finishes in first again. But the Boulevard Bruiser finishes in third this time, giving Ray a little bit more cushion, but right now it's only the top 2 that'll move on instead of just first place. So Boulevard Bruiser still has a shot to move on. It's just a matter of whether or not he will be stopped by the other 2 racers. In this final race, Ray is trying to stay in front, but the Ferrari is taking that lead, at least for the moment. The Boulevard Bruiser, that's kind of hard to say really fast, takes the lead, is trying to maintain it. They get into these open lanes here. And the Boulevard Bruiser is out in front, Ray's right behind him. But it's hard to say that, my apologies. The Boulevard Bruiser finishes in first and will likely be moving on alongside Ray, and they do. So they will be going on to the finals. Let's see who will join them in the second group. We have a Celica, a Sweet 16, Gran Torino, and another Batmobile. I'm not quite sure from the side which version of the Batmobile that is. Maybe if I get a clear view from the front, but I want to say that could be Michael Keaton's Batmobile. Right now, though, he is in second, the Gran Torino, taking the lead, but as I say, that Sweet 16 comes out of nowhere, launches himself forward in front of the other 2, and is trying to maintain that lead. The Batmobile is trying to catch up to him, but so far is struggling to do so. And the Sweet 16 takes the win, Batmobile in second. Let's see what kind of time that was. 13.78, not great, but not terrible. If they can keep that up, they could be a threat. Coming into race number 2, the Sweet 16 was a surprise contender because they weren't really holding on to any sort of lead for a good chunk of that race, but then they came out of nowhere in that latter half and just stayed up front where nobody could touch them. Batmobile's out in front, but that wide turn kills a lot of their speed. Sweet 16 out in front. Gran Torino trying to catch up, and here comes the Batmobile. Out in front with the sharpest turn, takes the lead and is trying to expand it, but the Sweet 16 is right on his tail, going into the open part of the track. The Sweet 16 is trying to catch up to Batman, but Batman finishes with a 13.68, which is honestly kind of surprising, because it looked like he was going pretty fast there for most of the race. But still, he did finish in first with his Sweet 16 in second. So it looks like they will be tied going into the third race. As for the Gran Torino and the Celica, they're tied for second, each with 3. So they definitely have some work to do. In race number 3 now, the Gran Torino and the Batmobile take an early lead. The other two aren't too far behind them, though, and they do have the sharper turn. And that evens things out a little bit. When the Sweet 16 and the Batmobile take off, the Gran Torino's trying to stay with them. But Batman is out in front, and he's expanding a bit of a lead. Can he hold on to it and not slip up in the last part of the track? As I say that, he goes sideways, and the Gran Torino almost runs him over. And he blocks the other two, finishing in second with the Sweet 16 in third. That was not the best play. I definitely would look into that, make sure they're not going to act aggressive later on. Because if you try to hurt somebody, that's an automatic booting from the competition. In the final race, though, finishing in first again, that really helps Batman. And in the first part of the race, he and the Celica are out in front, but Batman's trying to gain a bit of a lead, especially since he has one of the wider turns here, and the Sweet 16 takes advantage, trying to keep that lead, but Batman is right on his tail, almost spins him out a little bit, and Batman's trying to find an opening, but the Sweet 16 will just not let him do it, and uses his nose to block him from beating him in that race. Now, I'm not sure what that's going to do to the standings, but that'll be pretty close. Batman just takes the overall win, but those two will be moving on to the finals, him and the Sweet 16. Now we have a bit of a sense of deja vu here, as once again, we have a DC vehicle and a Star Wars vehicle in the finals. This time it's Batman and Rey. Again, I refuse to call her Rey Skywalker, but that's just me. Right now, Rey is the one out in front. The Bruiser in second, Batmobile is right behind them, and they're all right next to each other here. What's going to happen as they get into the open part of the track? Bruiser's out in front, Rey in second, Batman right behind her. And Rey's trying to get first, but could not do it. Batman finishes in third, and it looks like we don't have a finisher. And it looks like it'll be the Sweet 16. They might have been going too fast, because they are off the track. Thankfully, they landed upright, though. Yeah, I think this is the second time now we've had somebody completely fall off the track. At least in recent memory. But that does put a damper on things for the Sweet 16. So at this point, it's pretty much just between the Bruiser, Batmobile, and Rey. But the Sweet 16 could make a surprising comeback. We just don't know. Right now, though, Rey is out in front, trying to be the next Star Wars racer, joining the overall finals. The Bruiser is out in front, but Rey takes advantage of that sharp turn, launches herself forward like a rocket. Going into the final turn, the other three are next to each other, but Rey is just way up there. And Batman's trying to make something happen. He does pass the Sweet 16, almost passes the Bruiser, but doesn't quite get there. Yeah, it's looking more and more like Rey is going to be the fourth and final Star Wars character in the grand finals. But we'll have to see what happens, because right now, actually, I think she's tied for the Bruiser. Or tied with the Bruiser, I should say. Excuse me. Now in this next race, the Bruiser and Rey take an early lead, but Batman does have the sharp turn, and he is next to Rey, but is losing some of that speed as the Bruiser and Rey are pulling away. And that's even more so after that turn. Sweet 16 is actually in front of Batman, and the Bruiser is trying to stop Rey here. But here comes the Sweet 16 out of nowhere, almost surpassing Rey. Couldn't quite do it, and Batman spins out a little bit, finishing in last. For all the Batman fans out there, I'm sure this is not what they wanted to happen. But it's back and forth between Rey and the Bruiser. Depending on how this next race goes, it could be a tiebreaker for the final spot. Whoever finishes in front of the other, depending on who it is, could change everything. We've seen some incredible comebacks before, especially in tiebreakers. But we'll see if that remains the same here. Right now, it's actually Batman that's in front of Ray. But the Bruiser is in front of him, and Batman suddenly falls all the way to the back with Ray finishing in second. And it looks like the Bruiser has stopped both Ray and Batman from adding any more DC or Star Wars vehicles to the roster, and now that roster is complete. All 8 racers are here. We'll move on to the Grand Finals next time, so thank you all for watching, and we'll see you for the Grand Finals.